Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Deidre and I'm a Canadian budgeter on a budgeting journey. I hope you'll stick around till the end, that you'll like and that you'll subscribe and you'll come along this journey with me. So let's get into it. So first of all, I want to start by saying that I don't have any credit card debt. That is not to say I didn't have any in the past. I will get into that in a minute. I only have two debts, but one has been quite a journey thus far. So I'll just start out by saying that I have been pretty irresponsible in the past with spending. I always felt like I was going to have a job. I was always going to be making money. So racking up some credit card debt or taking out a car loan and just spending frivolously got me into debt many, many times. I have been out of debt more than once in my life. I have paid off more than one vehicle. I have also finished paying off loans and credit cards. However, a few years ago, when I purchased my condo, I wasn't really being super honest with myself about my finances and ended up racking up more credit card debt that was suffocating me. I took out a personal line of credit back just before I purchased my condo. However, I used it irresponsibly and racked up some more debt. This is where I can say I'm glad I've come as far as I've come because I've learned so much and changed so many bad behaviors. Better late than never. There's always hope, guys. So, where do I begin? I'll start here. When I felt like my credit card debt and my line of credit debt was suffocating me, I finally told my mom what was happening, as she could tell that I was stressed out, but she didn't understand why. My parents helped me pay off my credit card debt, which was a huge, huge blessing, and I do not take that for granted at all. That debt is not included in this because my parents have helped me out when I was in my younger 20s. I didn't pay them back completely. My goal is once I'm completely out of line of credit debt, I will start to pay them back. They are okay because I'm very open and honest about my finances. I am able to tell them exactly how much I owe on my debt anytime. So that is a huge, huge blessing, and I know not everybody has that. And I definitely do not take it for granted. So let's get into some of this debt here. So I'm going to start out, and you will see I have a line of credit, as I have mentioned. My original balance on this line of credit when I took it out a few years ago was $49,950. Now this was just all for frivolous purchases, makeup, shoes, home decor, food, etc. I am very aware of personal finances and have been since I was a child. My parents taught me very well. I just basically chose not to follow the rules that they instilled. So a lot of this was just, that wasn't even schooling. That wasn't even major trips or anything, just frivolous spending. So that number is quite sickening, especially because I really don't have anything to show for it. However, back in December last year, December 31st, 2022, my balance was $28,800. That's a huge amount paid off the original balance, but I will go into some further detail about how much I did pay off in 2022, as well as what I've paid off so far this year and what I'm projecting for next year. So as of today, December 6th, 2023, I owe $20,165. Now that is a lot of money, but that is a huge chunk that I have paid down year to date, and I'm so incredibly proud of myself for doing that, as I'm a single income household and I don't really have any additional income at this time. I do some selling on Poshmark and Facebook, but it doesn't bring me in huge amounts of money. Now, for those who might be thinking, well, why don't you get a second job? I'm dealing with some major health issues right now, and working full time takes a lot out of me. So I'm trying to best pay down the debt with the income that I earn in my full-time job. So my projected, because I've already done my budget until the end of the year, I have 2 paychecks in December, my expected amount owing on this line of credit as of the end of this year, unless all of a sudden I somehow get extra money, is $19,475. Now that is well below $20,000. That is huge progress. I will make note that my line of credit is prime plus 3.49%. Now, anybody who in Canada knows that the interest rates were being raised by the Bank of Canada, the amount of interest that I have to pay on these balances is astronomical. I'm glad that they have not raised it again in December. I'm hopeful maybe by the later half of 2024 that the Bank of Canada will start to reduce the interest rate, as that will definitely help with my budgeting and allow me to put more towards this. So let's get into, in 2022, I paid off $4,352, and you're gonna wonder why. I really only got serious about paying off this line of credit in about the last 6 months of 2022. Before that, I'd put a little bit of money towards it. I might use it again for frivolous purchases, which I am really trying not to make anymore. I really try and think about my purchases, how much it costs, etc. Still, paying off over $4,000, that's a huge win. As of today, December 6th, 2023, I have paid off from the end of 2022, $8,635. Now, this has not been easy. This has been a real concerted effort by myself to get as much as I could paid off of this. Now, could I have paid more? Absolutely. But I'm also trying to save for future expenses as well as emergencies. I will go into my emergency fund a little later. What I'm projected to have paid off at the end of this month, December 31st, 2023, is $9,325. Now that is a huge amount of money, and if I hadn't been so frivolous with my spending, I could have so much into my retirement or so much towards a new place or in savings, but I am glad that this balance will be less than $20,000 at the end of this year. I'm taking the huge win. I'm so proud of myself for coming this far. So I have a projected goal in 2024 to have my balance down to $11,475. Now that is $8,000 I plan to pay in 2024. And you might say, well, you've paid off more this year. There's some reasons for that. Let me get into it. My condo fees go up almost every single year, which eats into my income. I also owe interest every single month on this line of credit that is not factored into this. Therefore, my budget will be less every single paycheck. I also have to pay more in benefits through my employer. I will note that I do have an RSP contribution that comes out automatically from my paycheck. Now, some of you might say, well, you're in debt. Why are you putting towards retirement? I'm almost through the second best decade of my life, and if I don't start saving for it now, the amount of money I will have to contribute later on will be out of this world. I would rather work with just a little less money to put towards my debt and know that my future self has something. So I want to make note that I pay currently on the current balance around about $200 to $210 for interest, and I have insurance on this line of credit. So if I was to pass away, it would be fully written off. If I was to become disabled, I would have payments that the bank would pay towards this on my behalf for a limited period of time. Now, as the balance goes down and the interest rate goes down, this amount will become less and less, which frees up more money that I can actually put towards the line of credit. So the next thing that I have is a mortgage. I own a condo. I've owned it since 2018. I was very, very blessed to be given some money from my parents, from family estates, as my parents knew that those family members would want my siblings and I to be able to own a piece of property ourselves in the future. That's how I was able to come up with a down payment. However, I did qualify for the mortgage on my own based on my own income and my own credit score. So as of December 6th, not 5th, my balance on my mortgage is $102,152.49. Now, this is a very small mortgage. You have to keep in mind, this is a condo. This is not a freestanding home. I pay $296.38 bi-weekly for this. It is at a 4.4% interest, which is very low. I actually re-signed last year because I could see that interest rates were rising and I didn't want to be caught with a huge interest rate. I do want to note that this does not include any of my monthly condo fees. My property tax, I do have to pay yearly on my condo, or my condo/house insurance. I do have a sinking fund set up for my house insurance. My property tax, I have a set amount taken the day after I get paid, every payday, put into a separate savings account, and when my tax bill comes, I pay it. I do want to make note of my emergency fund. Now, some people say have $1,000. Some people say have a month worth of expenses. I think you have to do what's good for you. You know what industry you work in. You know what the climate is like in your area. So I am not of the mind of saving only $1,000. Now, that's a great start, but any emergency these days costs hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. So that's not enough, in my opinion. As of today, December 6th, I have $1,685.20 in my emergency fund. Now, I will note that I do have multiple sinking funds. This is for my emergency fund only. That is, to me, not enough, but I can sleep at night knowing at least I have something set aside, and I'm also working towards getting more. So my projected amount at the end of this month for my balance in my emergency fund is $1,835.20. Now, with Christmas coming up, there is always potential that I could get a little money from family. I typically will put half towards my emergency fund and half towards my debt, but if I get any, I'll have to decide what I want to do this year. So I actually have a goal for my emergency fund for 2024. I want to have $3,230.20. Well, hopefully more. I am gaining a little bit of interest, but hopefully I can also add a little bit more. That will be almost 2 months worth of my expenses. Now that's getting me closer to 3 months. I'm going to save $50 bi-weekly, the day after I get paid, into my emergency fund account to help me get there. Now, is this enough for a huge emergency? No. But like I said, I'm also trying to save money for other things that could come along. My dishwasher right now has something going wrong with it. My dad, who's lovely and very good with figuring things out, is going to come take a look. I'm hoping it's only a part that needs to be replaced and not the entire dishwasher. I do have money set aside in a separate savings account for home stuff as well as for car repairs or maintenance. So that money actually comes out the day after I get paid and goes directly into those accounts. So I'm crossing my fingers that this dishwasher is not going to cost me too much. Now, if it does cost me a new dishwasher, I will take what I have sitting in my home fund, as well as I might need to dip into my emergency fund, but I've also toyed with also pulling it from some of my other sinking funds that are not as high priority or need to be paid. But I will cross that bridge when I come to it, and I will let you guys know what happens with the dishwasher. So yeah, that is my debt overview. You can't compare yourself to others. You can only compare yourself to your past self. And once my line of credit is gone, I will hopefully keep the line of credit just in case. But my goal is to never go back into huge amounts of debt. So yeah, I hope you guys have stayed till the end. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to listen to me. Share your budgeting journey. Share how far you've come. Be proud of any success that you've had. Even if you don't feel like you've paid enough down, paying down your debt is still a huge win, so be proud. If I was your friend and I knew, I would be super proud of any amount that you pay down. It's not easy, especially given how things are in the world right now. So always be proud of making progress and take one day at a time and one step at a time. Thanks so much, guys, for watching. I hope you'll like and subscribe and share this with anybody who you think needs to see it. Bye.